So in this video, we're going to be taking a quick look at this pen. It's called the Zebra Clean Do or Clean Dough. I'm not really sure how to say it, but it's a relatively new click retractable ballpoint pen from Zebra. And it's, getting to be available in the US. It's a Japanese model, but you can find it in the US through a couple different resellers. Upon first glance, it looks like a fairly typical ballpoint pen or maybe an executive pen because of the obvious metal grip, but it's a little bit more interesting than that. The Clean Do, as the name, I guess, sort of suggests, has an antibacterial or antimicrobial, whichever one you prefer. I don't really want to split hairs here, but a copper infused or copper alloy grip, which is said to be antibacterial. So basically, by holding this, the grip area will stay a little bit cleaner or safer, however you want to describe it, than an otherwise non-copper infused surface. For our purposes, I'm just a little bit more interested in it being a new pen from Zebra. It has an interesting shape, has a nice grip section, and that's kind of it. I didn't test the antibacterial properties. I'm sure they exist to some extent. I'm not sure how much of an impact it would be. I'm sure it would be limited by the fact that it's only in the grip. It's not the entire pen. Like obviously the knock, the button would be seems to me an obvious area to keep that or to add the copper, but it's not there, so we won't worry about it. So here's the materials that come with the Clean Do. It's pretty simple. See the name again, Clean Do. I'm not really sure. 0.7 millimeter. Uses Zebra's emulsion ink, which is basically their modern style ballpoint ink. It's like kind of the Zebra's equivalent to Jetstream ink. And it's relatively low friction, so it's nice and smooth, but it also writes on a lot of different surfaces. Not too much to be gleaned from here, but I will note a 600 Japanese yen price tag. I've been seeing it for sale in the US for about $10, whereas this would be more like $7, $6 right around there. That's all that comes with the pen, so it's very simple packaging, as I guess you would expect for about a $6 or $7 pen. Looking into the features, obviously it's click retractable. The aesthetics, it looks a lot like a Pilot Axiom to me, which is like pretty good. I think it's a nice looking pen. Has sort of a typical Zebra front end piece right here. We've seen something very similar on the F701, some other pens where it's metal, but it has that sort of two angles to it. I don't think it's interchangeable with any of those pens. I haven't really tested, but it looks to be a little different. But again, this looks Zebra to me. Here in the grip section, this is like sort of the most interesting part of the pen. You can see on its own, you can't really tell the color, but when it's in contrast to the front piece here, the tip protector, whatever you want to call it, you can see this is clearly silver. This is somewhat gold. On its own, again, you might just think this is silver and the lighting is making it look a little bit off, but clearly this is silver. This is slightly gold. Maybe like a platinum type color. It's kind of more golden, more brownish than a titanium, but I guess it's coppery. I don't know. There's a little notch right here. That's for lining this piece up if you were to take it off. Here we have a flare. So that means you have a thicker grip than the rest of the pen, which is nice. That allows the grip to be nice and wide, which makes it comfortable. It also puts more weight on the bottom portion of the pen, which helps you control the pen as you write. It's a pretty nice feature we've seen rolled out across a few different companies. Pilot has done this with their Acro line a lot. Zebra did it with their sort of previous model, which I don't know if they make anymore, like the Air or the Air Fit, something like that, had a wider grip with this sort of flare into a narrower body. I don't think that pen is related to this one, but there's some aesthetic purposes, and I have a few of them lying around, but I don't think I've really discussed them much on the channel. The body here is disappointingly plastic. It looks nice. You can see very clear that there's a seam right here, so it's quite obviously plastic. It looks very nice, but it's disappointing to see that it's plastic, which it's lightweight. Again, that does add, it allows this piece in the front to make it more front heavy, which is nice, but the pen does feel a little bit light. And then, it would be nice if it was metal, just which would feel good. But then obviously the antibacterial properties don't extend into the plastic. They're limited to here. So if you're holding a pen, you know, in some sort of crazy manner like this, then I guess you're fully taking advantage of the antimicrobial or antibacterial properties. But if you're holding it like this, then it's really not ideal. I mean, I guess maybe your fingertips are more dirty than the side of your hand, so that's fine. I don't know. Again, I don't want to get crazy about the clean properties of it, but this is not metal. Clip is also plastic, which is disappointing. It just doesn't really feel in keeping with the very nice sort of high-end feeling grip. The grip, again, it feels really nice and smooth. It's really very well done, but cheap clip, just flimsy plastic, and then just more plastic up here. Just it's kind of like two different pens in one, where everything up here is very nice, everything back here pretty disappointing. The pen is refillable. You can take the front piece off and you will see piece is nice, heavy piece of metal. And then you can see it's very narrow here. This comes off as we expected. There's some little spacers here. It's very kind of a strange design, but whatever. I guess it's so that you could have a narrow body here, but you need something to create the width, and this uses less plastic than you would if this entire column was wider. Anyway, so this piece is kept nice and thin, has some good strength. There's no flex when I squeeze it. It's keyed right here so that it gets put back in the right direction with that little notch right there. You can't put it back like that. Very good. Here's a refill. It's a very small ballpoint refill. This is the Zebra emulsion ink. Zebra does sell this refill aftermarket, so if you want to replace this, you can. It's called the CEK 07. I think there's also a CEK 0.5, but I don't think they have a 1.0 millimeter or anything wider than that. So again, it is refillable. It's an affordable refill, easy to find because the refill the refill didn't come out because of this pen. It's a previously used refill. As I said before, it's a ballpoint pen, so it has that emulsion ink, which is quite smooth. It is, I wouldn't put it up there with a Jetstream, but it's as close as Zebra is going to get to being a nice high-end ballpoint. This is the clean, I guess that's an apostrophe, do. Yeah, so no problems with this. I've been writing with it for some time now, and it's smooth. It works. Writes on all sorts of different purposes. All sorts of different surfaces. And if you've used Zebra emulsion inks in the past, you'll know what to expect. I really like them in the 1.0 millimeter, like the EQ 1.0, but you don't really see them too often. That you have to hunt for or add in aftermarket. This isn't going to be hugely different than the refill you would see in a pen like this. This is Zebra's Blend, one of my favorite pens that Zebra makes. This one uses that EQ refill, but in this case, I was able to find a 1.0 millimeter replacement for this one, so you can see that 1.0 versus the 0.7, good deal wider. Obviously, it's a different refill style in this one. This one uses a much larger, longer refill, and it takes a long time. You see, I'm almost done with this pen. I've been using it for some time now. As far as the overall size of the Clean Dough, it's a good size pen. You know, I would say like pretty average. No real surprises there. The nice part of it is you got that extra width, which makes it nice and comfortable. I think the pen's also very good looking. You know, aesthetically, I have to take issue with the silver and gold contrast, putting them next to one another. Just, I don't know, just kind of irks me, but it's a relatively minor point. The grip is really nicely done. It is a little smooth, so that's gonna be an issue for some people, especially if you want something more grippy, or if you're ever gonna use it with gloves, but it has good width. It's nicely made and has a really nice sort of brushed pattern to it. I really like the work Zebra did here. I really wish they just had extended it across the whole pen. It would make it more effective, and it would also make it way better looking. Even if it was a two-part design, I think it would look great. Having a full pen in this sort of gold metal would be a really interesting thing, but not yet. Maybe one day. Anyway, that's the Zebra Clean Do, Clean Dough, what have you. Interesting concept. We've seen a growth in these antibacterial pens over the years. Hard to say how effective they are. I don't keep, petri dishes and other things at my desk, but maybe someone will weigh in the comments with their thoughts there. But anyway, cool concept and a nice pen. Thanks for watching.